Welcome to It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. What is it? It's everything. Everything you want in life starts with courage.
What's up, Kat?
Hey, Jen. JB. I'm sticking with JB.
I like that.
I'm sticking with JB.
Just don't call me Jenny.
Oh, Jenny from the block. I'm still.
I got a good story for you.
Tell me.
So, last week, we have season tickets to LSU women's basketball.
Yeah.
And we were going to a basketball game last week, and my mom comes with us.
Yeah.
And we had to stop at our Airbnb and drop some stuff off. So me and Bob went inside. We were doing a couple things, and my mom and my daughter were in the car, and she had been working on this English project or whatever. And so Bailey was talking to my mom about this paper she was having to write or read. She had to read this article and then make a summary of it. And so my mom was like, well, what is your article about? And Bailey was like, oh, it's about this lady, Lorena Bobbitt.
Wait, I feel really silly. I'm like,
you don't know who Lorena Bobbitt is?
Don't make me look silly on
Okay,
air.
no, we gotta stop it. I thought you would have known. We gotta stop the episode because if you don't know who it is, then I thought everybody in the world knew
Who was Lorena Bobbitt? What? Tell me.
She was like the lady 4 years ago that got mad at her boyfriend or husband and chopped off his
His dingaling?
Yes.
No.
Yes. And her last name was Bobbitt, or Lorena Bobbitt. That was her real name.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, please, please on the podcast, if you tell me you know who Lorena Bobbitt is, because she was like, Dee Dee, you know who Lorena Bobbitt is? And my mom was like, everybody in the world knows who Lorena Bobbitt is. Anyway, Bailey, she was like, well, what made you pick that article out of all the articles?
Yeah.
She's like, it was the shortest.
I like that. That's honesty right there.
Yes. So
Yes,
anyway,
Bailey.
I just thought that was funny, but it's not really that funny because you didn't even know who. Do you know who Lorena Bobbitt is?
I heard of the name. I know she did that.
No, Jen, what we need to know is, what articles are you reading? Where do you get your news?
That was a school article. I don't know what kind of school I'm sending her to. But
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, that kind of was a busted story, but anyway,
It was still a good story, guys.
I thought it was really funny. I thought it was really funny.
I don't think it was funny for him.
No,
getting his
definitely
dingaling
not.
chopped off. But
Please tell me if you know who Lorena Bobbitt is, or am I just really getting that old?
it's 4 years ago, Jen. You can't be that old.
No, it was 40 years. No, I'm 40 something. So it was probably happened when I was in high school, 20 something years ago.
Well, I think we've had newer news since then. That's probably why. There've been crazier people than her.
True that. But
That's probably why.
okay, so
Wow.
today we're gonna do a quick episode on just experience. And what kind of
experiences.
made me think about this is because I work at this real estate company, and we have. If you don't watch our videos on YouTube, then you're missing out because we have a beautiful office. Wouldn't you agree?
I think most people thought this was my house. Jokes, just kidding.
Well,
no, it is. You know what I call this place? I call this a very Instagrammable place. I go through, they have these amazing interior designers, and every single corner of this place is it's such a dream, guys, until you find out how much the furniture is, and then I'm just just stay in my dreams.
But so that's one of the things that I love about working here is because I can bring a new client here. I can tell them, okay, let's meet at the office first. And when they come to this beautiful place that's really well decorated, and immediately they're like, oh my God, this place is awesome. And then I hand them our drink menu, or hey, I'd like to put a drink in your hand. What would you like to drink? And it's got old fashioned and red wine and water and
Basically bougie
drinks in the fridge that I don't even know how to say, but I think it's kind of sets the tone for like, okay,
Yeah.
what this is going to be nice. Like, it's going to be nice working with this agent. Like,
it's a good experience. Like, it just, I suppose, especially if you're a first-time home buyer or whatever home buyer you are, like, the experience is just like, ooh. That's
it
how I
is.
describe it. Ooh.
So that's what we're going for, right? Like, we want this to be an amazing experience that people leave and they talk about, like, how great it is. So that kind of got me thinking about, like, us as people and what kind of experience are other people in your life having with you, right? Like,
Ooh.
I know, like,
That's a deep one. Not a deep one, but that's just like how many of us like look at the people we interact with and think, what's their experience of me? And would you really even want to know someone's true experience of you? And do you think it would align with what you think you're allowing them to experience? Or
I know, like, it's a little bit of self-reflection, right? Like, the other day, Bailey was like, yeah, my mom, my friend said, like, you know, because I've been picking her up at events and stuff, and they're like, your mom always looks mad. And I'm like, I'm not mad, but I've probably got a million things going through my mind. Yeah. And then I'm just sitting there and I'm not like smiling and interacting a lot. I'm like kind of quiet.
Yeah.
And then I realized these little 13-year-old kids like take that as like being mad.
Oh, so I'm curious. What's your experience? Well, okay. What was your experience? No, I don't even know how to ask this. What do I even want to ask? What would you say your experience of me is?
Well, I think like when we first met and I work with a lot of people, but I remember the first condo I showed you.
I make a lasting impression, guys.
Yes. She was very quiet, didn't really want to talk a lot about herself. I'm just trying to ask questions. She's like very close to the vest, like nothing like she's like now, like she's like the most positive, outgoing person. But like when I first met her, she was all like business and not really friendly at all. Like
many people would disagree with you.
On their first meeting?
No, I think on the first meeting, to be honest with you, pre-social media, I know when I first meet people, I'm just very quiet because I just like to observe. When I first meet people, I'm just very quiet because I like to observe. I don't talk a great deal because I'm learning the person. Mm-hmm. So from my seat on the table, I'm just quiet and learning you. I don't want to say too much. And I've learned, not that I don't want to say too much, but I just want to know where I stand, like what kind of a person you are. And I think from that, I've learned, people have told me that I am very intimidating in the beginning and scary. In general, but that's for me. It takes time for me to warm up. And I think even on social media, though, while you can say it's very different to how I am on social media, I'm still very closed on social media because I think unless I've consciously made the decision that I want to show this, all people know about me on social media, up until the podcast is my first name, that I do fitness. No one could tell you what I do as a job. No one could tell you anything. And I think people can't tell you really much about me, but the experience though is different because all they see is this very fun, energetic person.
Yeah.
But if my niece, I have this one niece, her name is Nyasha, and she said, she must have been like 12. And she said, Auntie Catherine, when you're gone, I miss you so much. But when you're here, I'm just like that witch. Because I'm a bit of am I strict? I don't know. I'm just very I have hard no's. It's either a yes or a no. I don't know. Do I? I don't even know what my own experience is sometimes. Yeah.
Well, but that's what we're talking about today is like self-reflection of like, do you know that about yourself that you have like resting bitch face? Like some people have that, right?
Yeah.
Like you're just like sitting, listening to something and like your face is like screaming, I'm a bitch, but you're really not.
Yeah.
You're really not. But like, you know, your experience with people, like what, because I always tell like my girlfriends and stuff, like when they're dating new people, I'm like, it's not what they say.
Yeah.
Don't listen to what they say. Look at what they do. How do they make you feel? Like those kind of things. Like
Yes.
it's not in the words, it's in the action, it's the experience that you're having with people.
Have you ever had a thing where you're looking on social media or something and you see someone post something that they're selling as them, but it's very much not them based on your own experiences?
Yes.
And you're like, shh, like eye roll.
Yeah. Faker.
Not even faker, but who are you lying to? But maybe maybe people actually don't know what people experience from them, or they just don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, I think that takes a lot of courage actually to kind of talk to people and say like, what is your experience with me? I mean, I think you prove that in different ways. Like I think there's, different ways where you're there for your friends through a hard time, or you're helping, someone less fortunate, or the things that you're doing in your life, or how are you impacting people in a positive way, or is everything you're doing really about you?
And I mean, for some people, it really is, because there's some people who know they're complete bitches. I don't even want to say that. Like, there's some people who just know they're one type of way, but they really don't care whether people like it or not, because it's what helps them live, or whatever it is that they're dealing with in life. Where I found it matters is there was a statistics professor that passed away, and some students were talking about this guy. Some of these students have never met this statistics professor. Who gets excited about statistics? Literally nobody I know. But this guy was just so amazing and charismatic that people spoke about him even though they've never experienced him. People experienced him through the words of other people. And at his funeral, there were like people who came from international people who came to his funeral, even if they had just had him as a teacher for one semester.
That's incredible.
Isn't that like just madness?
Yeah.
That's like a
wizardry. That's like a wizard.
That's some experience that you almost feel like I missed out on this person.
Right. But like, what is it, do you think, about that person that gave all of those people such a positive experience? What do you think it was?
I think that people who come to my mind and I think, wow, this is an amazing person, I really like this person, is because they know how to make other people feel great, how to make them feel important, how to make them feel a part of whatever it is in that moment, and let them know that they're valuable. I find that people who we speak about today as the great this and the great that, they have a way with people, with letting them know that you are just as important as the next person and the next person, no matter what your socioeconomic status is, no matter what you look like, what you know, what you don't know. Right now, I'm in this moment with you, and you are all that matters. Yeah. It's making people feel like they matter, what they want matters, who they are matters. I think that's what makes the experience, because you may be in a situation where there's no food, there's no this, but being with the right person makes all the difference.
Yeah, and I think like just being relatable, like just not being humble and relatable, because like I look at some of these like influencers or famous people,
even billionaires who are out there talking and they are not relatable. I mean, like,
Yeah, but I think like you look up to people, and then you realize, like, you look up to people because of what they're putting out there, right? They're putting out there that they believe in this and this and this, and you're getting like their thoughts and their energy, and you feel like, man, I could be their best friend. Like, I could be friends with that person. Like, how do I have them in my life? Like, that comes from being relatable and being able to make people feel like they're just like you.
Yes. You know, one thing that I fear, not that I fear, but like, for someone to see me on social media and be like, oh my gosh, Catherine, and then to meet them in real life and absolutely disappoint them. Not that I care about impressing people, but what I mean is,
they look up to you.
Yes. And then imagine, or has that ever happened to you where you have always looked up to someone and then you meet them and they have like a rotten attitude, or you just see them mistreat or talk to people in such a horrible, disgusting way that you're like, ooh.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely like seen people like just online that have been influencers and then like fallen from grace, and now I'm like, oh, I
know one in particular.
I just don't really want to hear them anymore, you know. But I think it's like they make you feel like you're just like them. And I think that's a huge part of like this experience that we're having with people and with others. So like, I think we just want to encourage people to understand that life is an experience, and people are feeding off of your energy, off of your facial expressions, off of your body language. They're feeding off of like how you're making them feel. Do you intimidate them? Are you like are you a bully, or are you an uplifter? Do you make them feel like they can accomplish their goals? Do you make them feel like they're just like you and the sky is the limit? Like, really evaluate how you're experiencing life and how people are experiencing you. And maybe like reflect on that and say like, what do I want to put out in the world so that maybe like when I pass away, I would be like that professor who thousands of people want to be at your funeral and want to share the experience that they had with you because it was such a positive thing.
And by no means are we saying be a people pleaser. We're just saying
be aware.
Yeah. How do you want people to experience you, and is that what you're putting out there?
Yeah.
Well, until next time, friends.
Peace. Thanks for listening to this episode of It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. If you like this episode of the podcast, visit our website, iswcpodcast.com, for show notes and other cool things.